Okay, we should be good to go. Let me go ahead and stop that and bring up the audio for the game. There we go. We are good to go. And thank you, Jam, for pointing out that I had the wrong title for this stream. I legit entirely forgot to change that before I started the stream. So thank you, Jam, for pointing that out for me. If you haven't refreshed, it is all good now. It's 110% set. So now we are good to go. And yeah, there we go. So before we get going, gotta remind you, we got the donation goal. Jan started out last stream. There it is. We're halfway there to getting Danganronpa V3 sooner than later. Put it that way. But let's quickly get into this. Last time we played Ace Attorney, it was nice. There we go. It was an interesting situation. Our client has already confessed to the crime. She has essentially put us in the biggest pickle of all time. We have essentially no evidence that downright says she didn't do it. So we're sitting on a really tough situation.
Hey, phrasing!
No need to put the phrasing out, man. Oh, there's Lana. How did the investigation go yesterday, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Or rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me. No matter what the outcome. Yeah, you forgot she had that voice. I only gave it to her because she was unwilling to look at us. That was the only reason. No matter what the outcome, I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis! Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yeah? A defense attorney should never believe their client. Okay. She's our client, so I don't want to be really, like, angry at her here. But, bitch, did you just put us in a situation where you're supposed to teach us something? After all we've gone through, after 4 cases, this game is still like, hey, don't forget, you should never believe your client. We went through 4 cases. 4 cases. And this game is still trying to teach us things. Emma's like, well, holy shit, she didn't do it. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. Miss Sky, you remind me a lot of Mia. Phoenix, please keep it in your pants, man. But there is one decisive difference between you and her. And that is, if you say it's the chest, I'm going to slap you. You're not a defense attorney. Not gonna lie, I anticipated a different answer there. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. Okay. This is gonna be real interesting. My first trial without a Fae helping me. I'm fucked. No one's going to bail me out this time. Got that right. We are definitely in for an interesting situation here. Another key is, we get to know what the judge has been up to in 3 months. Has he gotten that fanfic out? Why'd Mia pop up? Why Mia be doing that? Mia, don't be getting creepy here, Mia. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself.
Let's do this, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way.
Oh, she ain't gonna be as helpful as Maya. He got new characters to add to his fanfic, probably. We'll see when we get in there. February 23rd, 10 a.m. District Court, courtroom numero 9. New courtroom. We've never been in this one. Looks exactly like all the others. Yes. Court is now in session for the trial of one Miss Lana Sky. The defense is ready, Your Honor. Quick on that point, Phoenix. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. Back at it again. Tag team partners going mano-y-mano. It's been 2 months. I haven't been in a courtroom since his trial. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Sky has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in the prosecutioner's office lot.
Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything.
Emma, we don't want to hear what you have to confess to. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. The cough-up queen? Oh lord, I have to do her voice again. Her voice changed like 9 times last stream. This is gonna be fun. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar. I've never eaten caviar before. I guess, on a judge's salary, it's quite hard to get. The judge is really wolfing it down. I see what you did there, Phoenix. Good play. I appreciate it. And for you, I have a Fiesta Bowl. Thanks? Will the witness state her name and profession? Ah, and you? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste?
So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts.
Caviar, by the way, very good. Very good. It's nice having a roommate in college that was in the culinary department. Got to try a lot of things.
I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca.
Not gonna make an old man joke there, Judge. Not gonna do it. What the heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name profession now. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I did find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us.
The prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating.
Really? We gotta wait on the judge to finish his meal? Hurry it up!
Yes. Very well. Mr. Edgeworth, with a full stomach, we can continue. As you know, we usually call on the police to provide a description of the case.
Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional.
What exactly does that mean?
Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. This bitch be undercover! What? She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Starr was a detective? That's exactly what that sounds like.
I know who you are.
Cough up! Cough up, Queen Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see.
Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr.
Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. I think you got plenty of the court's attention, Miss Starr, I'm just saying. The parking lot at the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. Block A block, is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks.
I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up prosecutors' spaces, yes.
The crime took place by a car in the back of A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with this knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness and an arrest was made on the spot.
And who was this valiant witness?
Why, it was me, Your Honor. Hey, Piran, welcome to the stream, man. The cough up queen gonna swallow my food, dear Lord. Oh, Lord, if there was ever a time. There was ever a time. Parking lot floor plans. Add to the court records.
Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime?
Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief prosecutor. First, you want to not tell us that you're secretly a former investigator, a detective in homicide. Secondly, you want to not tell us that you apprehended the chief prosecutor. Thirdly, where did you make these lunches? I'm just wondering because you make a lot of different lunches and I'm very surprised at the variety. Fourthly, why'd you come to a trial dressed like that? That's about it.
It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it?
What, just got some chicken nuggets. Gonna share them. So kind. Hyperion so kind with sharing his nugs. Bigger question. Bigger question. Are they spicy nuggets?
Well, Mr. Wright.
I can't agree on principle, Your Honor.
Shit.
It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Don't know what you're talking about. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining?
If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr.
Fucking judge, whose side you on? What are they talking about? Me? Okay. Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend, the one of the two you have, when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective's intuition at work.
Damn.
Through the wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. I'll crush the race balls on your head. Oh, Lord. Anyways, food luck. This case is a doozy. Dude, look. I don't like the idea of this case being a doozy, Hyperion. Why'd you have to do that to me? I already had enough trouble with the last case. Early in it. I did pretty well at the end of it. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then, she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend? How touching.
Is that all you got out of that, Judge?
That's going into the fanfic right there. Going into the fanfic. Gotta add that, bringing lunch to a boyfriend.
As you can see, there is no room for doubt. I got next button right here, Edgeworth, that states otherwise. I will press X for doubt. He's curious like the rest of the jury. Yeah, probably.
The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife which you saw being stabbed into Detective Goodman.
So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Eh, come on. All that worse. Oh, Lord, every time I see something about a flesh wound, I always gotta go Monty Python. It's just a flesh wound. All that worse.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Okay. Well, Miss Lunchland Lady, whatever you may be. I'm gonna press the shit right out of you. Take that however you wish. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence of crime. Abhorrence? I think I know what that means, but I've never seen the word. I want to see if I'm correct. Yep. Huh. Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. I'm leveling up a Tommy gun and she called me sweetheart. So nice. Like the idea you level up a machine gun and just get sweetheart for it. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. Oh, the bow from Edgeworth. Been a while since we've seen that. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted. Given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim. Ooh, she has an issue with the prosecutors, and she did the hair flip. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. I feel like at some point we're going to get an Edgeworth Wright. We're going to get the Edge Wright tag team back. The Edge Wright tag team is going to be back.
Miss Starr, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator. And if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one.
Laid off? She was fired?
To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless.
Cue the George Michaels.
Absolutely flawless.
Very well. You may continue, Miss Starr.
I do want to know, do I know about her second boyfriend at all? Doesn't look like it. Well, shit. Also, did you notice the heterochromatics on Starr? I think everybody noticed. Oh, Lord. I gotta know more about this. The jury wants to know about your boyfriend. This boyfriend, he's the detective?
Not that boyfriend. The security guard.
That boyfriend? You have, I'll take a mint. Chevron?
Judge, don't start turning on us now just because you want to get laid, man.
Yes, this boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend.
Who ain't she dating? Who ain't in bed with Miss Angel Starr? Like, we made a joke that she had a porn name in the last stream. It ain't wrong. Look at this. She gets around town a lot.
Care to join?
Wants to sign up. Damn, girl, one relationship is difficult. This bitch got 3. You want to join, guys? You want to sign up? Sure, she's got a sign-up sheet.
The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants.
Join the Starr Order. Yes! Oh, man. Okay, that's officially going to become an emote. That's officially becoming an emote. I'm right now going to get myself a PNG of Angel Starr, and we are making the Starr Order. Angel Starr.
The hell did I find? Not many good PNGs, I'm not gonna lie, I'm very disappointed. I think that's the best one I'm gonna get. Gonna have to go with what I got.
There we go. There we go. We got a new emote incoming. I need to stop giving you emote ideas. You need to, Jen. I mean, I've got another one that involves the couch in mind, but that's just because the couch has become too popular. Who said they were smashing? She might just be having boy toys. It's an undercover. You gotta have the connects. I mean, you ain't wrong there.
I'll stick with the lunches. Thanks.
The couch is gonna take over your channel. Couch, you got this, man. You're gonna take fully over, man. It's your show to run eventually.
Note to self: the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot in A block.
That's true. We do know this.
It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there.
That would be the room with the security sign. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car?
Since I am a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime?
Just once again, I just want to look at what we got. We got the ID card, we got the King of Prosecutors trophy, we got Edgeworth's knife, got the parking stub, we got the blue badger panel for some reason, Goodman's autopsy, Goodman's note, cell phone, the floor plans. Alright. Gonna keep pressing. We're gonna find something. There's gonna be a hole somewhere to poke through. You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder?
It felt like... how would you say...
There's a contradiction. There's a contradiction? Yeah. I figured there's a contradiction somewhere.
Oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin. When you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds.
I read that very different than what is on the screen.
I have no idea what that means.
Speaking of a detective's intuition, wasn't the victim, Mr. Bruce Goodman, also a detective?
Yes, well, he was like a young cheese.
A young cheese.
A pale white cheese, not yet tangy, with experience on the streets. A greenhorn.
Okay, so you're saying he was still green. Just say he's green.
That's all you gotta say.
Don't be throwing those accusations at me, Hyperion.
Then I must be hard, yellowed, and sharp as a tack.
Okay, Judge, whatever. Sure. Sure. Sure.
Yeah, with the odor of an old cheese to match.
Damn. Emma, you didn't have to do that. The judge done nothing to you.
In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind.
By garish car, you mean...
Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes.
Mr. Edgeworth's.
More like senile, old, and probably decayed. Or what? Accidentally pressed the button.
Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed was also Mr. Edgeworth's. Wasn't it?
Indeed, it was.
Holy shit, this man's dead. I know he done did it.
What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant.
I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her.
If she's telling the truth, we're doomed.
Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always nitpick.
That's true. Witness, in your testimony, you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness.
You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, rookie.
I'm undefeated. Phoenix is undefeated. Undefeated. Unbeaten. The streak is alive. Shut up. Huh? Rookie?
Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me.
Oh, hair flip again. When the hair flip shows up, that is full on Starr order. That is Starr order to the highest degree.
I'll fry you like a fritter, crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside.
That was inspiring.
I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism? I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed.
Well, look at this photograph. Every time I do, it doesn't make me laugh. Oh, this doesn't look good for the defendant.
A photograph. You took this?
The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap. I took a picture. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera.
This bitch got spy gear too. Are we sure she's not running like an illegal vigilante operation out of the lunch van? She's got lunchboxes with cameras. She's a former homicide detective. Are we sure she's not trying to be Batman over here? She's not trying to take Ruby Rose's job? Almost said Ruby Riot. Not gonna lie. Hashtag join the Starr Order. It's gonna be a thing, man. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging it around your neck. Witness, Why am I only seeing this photograph just now?
You think I'd show it to you, a prosecutor? Think again.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Come on, Edgeworth. Come on. Join back, man. Arms wide open, man. Arms wide open for you. Come back to the tag team. Come back to the tag team.
My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs.
Well, this is most certainly the defendant.
Yeah, that's pretty damning evidence. It's the defendant with blood on her jacket. Goddamn. Uh-oh. This is unmistakably Lana Skye. So what was the defendant doing at the time? Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying.
Well, I'd say the blade was about 4 inches long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all.
Yes, that's about right.
Prosecutors are, by nature, very, very well versed in the location of a man's vital organs.
Is that a thing? Are prosecutors normally very well versed in the...
I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set.
You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person.
Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor.
So, the defendant was holding a knife. What then? I just realized this chick got onigiri on her head. Yep. She's got a rice ball on her head.
Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest.
I meant to press R1. I pressed the wrong button. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. Or as Pokemon would call them, jelly-filled donuts, yep. Oh, I remember that episode with Mankey. I actually have that episode on VHS. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no?
The defense has a point.
Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late.
Too late?
Yes, the next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon.
I see.
It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it.
It's only a flesh wound. Oh, I've had worse. Come on. You pansy. You said that before. Anything else?
Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Absolutely flawless.
Sounds pretty fatal to me.
What do we do? Is this it? Is my sister guilty?
Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason, having her panicking next to me makes me calmer.
Don't smile like that!
Alright.
This must be the victim's blood, right? If that or Edgeworth cut himself peeling an apple.
Hey, we already went over this, never mind. 4.5-inch knife. Huh. Alright. I'm gonna try something. First I want to save. Just so you know. Gotta play it safe. Your Honor, that statement contradicts this evidence. Yeah, okay, that didn't work. Nope. But what would be the... Like, what's the contradiction? Is it the picture? It's gotta be the picture. Oh, it is! I'm not gonna lie. I was very questionable about it. The first thing, when after I did the knife, I was like, wait a minute, what hand was she using in the picture to lift the trunk? That's the first thing I thought. And at first I was like, this makes, why would it be this? Why would they automatically go to her being left-handed when we don't know that? And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife? As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. What's the swirl?
I'm sure that is a fine lunch.
I want to know what the swirl is. I assume it's like a soy sauce. But, it does sound good. Salmon sounds real good, actually. But, isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. Why was she opening the trunk with her left hand? This is the photograph you took of the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Oh, it's that. I just thought it was the fact that she was left-handed. I went to the fact that she was left-handed. I thought the fact that she wasn't holding the knife. Nothing? From anybody?
Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts?
Objection. That had to be the weakest objection ever, Edgeworth. Yet it was still stronger than your ever feeble mind, Mr. Wright. Bro, why you gotta be throwing insults, man? I thought we were bros again. I thought we were pals. I thought we were buddies. Why you gotta be treating me like inferior?
What do you mean, Mr. Edgeworth?
This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. Figured he would say that. And how can you tell that?
Blood splatter.
Huh?
See the dark crimson stains on the chief prosecutor's coat.
But it's a black and white photograph.
Ah, yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood.
Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem. Except you. Someone's car got stolen. Maybe that's the situation.
Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse?
You got a better idea? Objection. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. It drove down the road with the alarm blaring. Did it? Did it? Did you hear someone's car get stolen? You're gonna call the cops, Jaren? Now you might have to dial 911 reality.
Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies.
Nah. You ain't gonna take the time. It ain't no fire hazard. That's it.
If you run out of lunch, your order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. Not sure I understood it, but good advice. I didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot.
Would you say like an android? Sent by Cyberlife. Yeah.
She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder.
Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in that photograph.
Well, are those gloves?
Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? Checking for dust? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. Fuck you, Edgeworth, and your deductive reasoning.
These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation.
Premeditated murder, a serious offense.
Witness, add this to your testimony.
What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves? Like driving gloves. The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies.
In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make.
All the hair flip again. Evil.
Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime.
Yeah.
Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr.
This is bad. She's got them thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the Trial's already over. Got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated.
It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it.
I'm starting to feel like the Black Knight with only a head. There's no chance we're doing anything. Said that before. Anything else?
Scientifically speaking, Mrs. Starr's testimony is flawless.
Sounds pretty fatal to me. Okay. That same thing. How would it be premeditated? If it was premeditated, how would they know? Like, how would they know when exactly to go down there, give him to the car, and all that? Your Honor, that statement can never mind. I legit thought that made sense. How would they know exactly when Edgeworth was coming back? Okay. Sorry, Judge. Fuck. How to prove that this was not premeditated? Okay, it's just the same thing. Hey, Giant Troy, welcome to the stream, man. Been a while since I've seen you in here. Welcome. Okay, so they're just gonna say the same thing. What would make... Whoops. I went too far over. What would make it not seem premeditated? The only thing I can think of is it has to be the autopsy saying that it was an hour and a half. Like, he died within an hour and a half. That's a lot of time to give. I didn't mean to click that. Wrong button again. Go. Go. We've been through this dialogue once already. Nope. Leon did it? Yeah. Right now, I would love to throw that out there, because that would probably confuse the shit out of him. We don't got that. What if I throw the blue badger out there? Wait a minute. That car would have been like over there. Would have been over on, like, with the other four. It wouldn't have been the one, or at least it doesn't look like it would have been the one. It wouldn't have been Edgeworth's. No, never mind. Never mind. I take all that back. Every little bit of it. I take it back. I'm wrong. Yep, I'm wrong. I was just throwing that one out. Ah, let's load back up. What is it? Like... There's no way. There's no way it's anything like the... I got nothing. Nope. Yeah, I'm just gonna go right back. I'm gonna load up right back up. The issue I'm having right now is we have pressed everything. We've pressed her on everything. And I do not see. Or have we? Have we not pressed her on everything? That's her talking about her multitude of relationships. Wonder if they know about each other. They might. Oh yeah, she would have seen her from there. I just wanted to see. Nope. Yeah. Oh, Lord. I don't want to have to... I don't want to have the help. But this may be one of those times where I desperately need it. I'm gonna feel stupid afterwards. Oh! Wait a minute! Wait a minute! Nope. Thought maybe that would work. I thought maybe. I thought, for just a second, I thought the music had changed. Ugh. Okay. I'm down for any help. I know I'm gonna feel stupid after someone tells me. But I've given up. I've given up. Support statement. B block. Okay. That's only part of it. Okay. Dear Lord, wait, I'm taking you're getting it from IGN there. Jaren, this is long, man. No, strategy wiki. Really just want to look at that photo, like dig deep into it, but can't do it. Oh, we might get to do some strategery. Oh, where's the end of it? Still feel like the ticket stub has something to do with it. Are you kidding me? Is it really that easy? Three times I sat there thinking maybe it's the knife. Maybe I have to go back to the knife. They always make you go back to something. Maybe I have to go back to the knife. But I'm like, how does that prove it's not premeditated? I just never thought to just be like, hey, just do it. Just do it. Maybe we'll figure something out. Witness, do you know what this is? I overthought every single time. I overthink every single time. Are you trying to test me? I sell lunchboxes for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. I'm gonna keep this strategy guide open. That's a smart idea. Indeed, it is my knife. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car? I belong to the prosecutor there? The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are the prosecutors bad people? The defense has a request. I like that kid at the end of it. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder. And that's why she was wearing those special gloves.
Seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning.
However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Uh-oh. Oh. Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. The lunch went flying.
Order! Order! Order, Michael! Join the Starr Order!
Great. Now the tide is turning in our favor.
Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free.
Uh-oh. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah! The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove. Nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. I suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If it wasn't, why would she have been waiting?
I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again.
Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you?
Oh, hair flip.
My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again.
The victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. Does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it?
So, if I ordered a pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy?
In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Emma has a point. Emma has a good point there. Can't believe I just said that, but Emma has a point. Kill him if he asks you to tip him. No, you tip him. You gotta tip him. This guy's gotta get paid. You said that, but you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm about to tell you, rookie.
I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she is about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again.
Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. No, you tip, but not if he begs for it. Then he's just being greedy. Well, if he's begging for the tip, then you didn't start tipping him in the first place, in my opinion. Something's half-baked here, alright. And it's you! Oh, Phoenix with the comeback of the century! Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. You have no proof that Miss Skye called him there. You have no proof that she didn't.
Mr. Edgeworth, thoughts?
There is no record of a call made on the defendant, Miss Lana Skye's phone. She might have written him a letter. Come on. You could have tried public phone first, at least.
In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness, why do you think it was the victim who summoned the suspect who summoned the victim that day?
I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim.
What kind of grudge?
Well, I wouldn't know that.
Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge.
Rookie.
Oh, she's pulling out the lunch again.
I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside?
How am I supposed to know?
See, we agree there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels. Don't you agree?
I'd rather the life is like a box of chocolates metaphor. I think that's better. Life's like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. Better metaphor than a lunchbox with pretzels.
I get it. That's why my lunch was so salty.
This judge isn't very good with metaphors.
The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this?
It's simple.
A human machine? That's a contradiction.
Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright?
No too so. Mr. Edgeworth's sighs smell like citrus fruit.
Weird. 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 I will say, we have seen some weird stuff throughout the Danganronpa streams. Through 1 and 2, we saw some weird, really kinky shit. That's the weirdest thing I think we've ever heard. That's weird. That is so weird. You say again and again. How many times did she stab him exactly? You think 1 and 2 is Kinky Man V3 gonna destroy you? I mean, we'll see we'll see when we get there, whenever we get there. I will say, if we hit the donation goal, the next game, after Heavy Rain, because we're obviously gonna finish Heavy Rain first, will be V3, and I'm hoping, I tried to do my math, if we start V3, if we get enough, after Heavy Rain, that should take us all the way to October. That means, you know what? Horror streams throughout the entire month. Emma just likes making notes of the world. Yeah, maybe that's it. Maybe that's it. It's not weird, it's just that's what she does.
We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done?
How come she's getting mad at me?
Let's just say she stabbed him several times. Leave it at that.
Leave it at that? This is a murder case, people!
Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know.
Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off.
The short wick burns at the fastest. It's a scientific fact.
I wonder, Wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle? I mean, add more wax, and even a really short wick will burn longer.
Obviously, more scientific testing is required.
I know where this one's going at least. I have a very good idea. You said again and again, I throw down the autopsy report. You say she stabbed him again and again. But you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. Ew. Ew, 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 ew. Ew, I'm not eating grass. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. If looks could kill. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this. But take a look. The autopsy report states the death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth.
What a hunk! He's my hero. Really?
What about my objection? No one noticed?
Well, witness.
You got the crime scene set, right?
Oh, thanks.
I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. But now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood at her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's what I thought. She must have stabbed him at least twice.
Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Oh, my brother, testify.
Dear Lord, there's a lot of separate testimonies in this. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. I just want to see. I don't think I have it in here at all. Nope. Okay. I'm pretty sure that what she saw was her cutting her hand. Her red muffler? Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor always wears one around her neck. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. Man, you really don't like her. She's right. Miss Sky was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait. Isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood?
Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib.
Guys, we should all laugh at the judge's joke, or he's probably going to kill us. So, just fucking laugh. Woohoo! Woohoo! Good joke, Judge. Oh. A judge with a bib. That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Oh!
Phoenix, why you gotta do that to him?
Boo! Get off the stage! Don't do that to the judge. He's just trying to write a fanfic up there.
Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest.
However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently, Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony.
Mr. Wright, this is our chance.
Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Judging her abilities as a detective really set her off. Okay. Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work.
What?
The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. Hey, Edgeworth buddy, welcome back to the team. You want to tag in? Tag in, bruh? Yeah, no? Okay. And you've proved it yourself with this photograph.
Huh? But that can't be.
Only a professional lunch lady could be so utterly clueless. Congratulations. Perhaps you finally found your true calling in life. Harsh words, but good.
In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails.
What was my objection? Chopped the liver?
But it was there. A scarf? No, not that, but something red. Really?
Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, but back to business.
What?
Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that.
Bruh, the Starr Order gonna have to recruit very soon because the leader is having some problems.
I do remember some things accurately, at least.
Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony.
The most important part?
The part where your sister stabs the victim? This next testimony might just be the moment of truth.
After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind the partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Starr, resistance is futile. Somebody's got quite the ego.
You are quite determined about the scarf, aren't you?
I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Starr, the leader of the Star Order.
Yeah, instead of Mr. Brody Lee, it's Miss Angel Starr. There we go. There we go. Just have to call her Miss Angel Starr from now on. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake.
Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten.
Nah, no thanks.
Note to self, Mr. Wright is weak against poisonous snake bites. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum.
An oil drum? Hard to imagine.
Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Roar!
Why'd she roar? What was the meaning of the roar?
Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will.
After the murder, the suspect...
don't need to reread it. No need for that. So where's this partition on the floor plans?
I'm sure she means this wall next to the car.
That's right. There was a wall here, about 6 feet high.
She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do.
And what did you do then? You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect?
As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time.
But you were behind a cage, right? You would have been over in section B. Maybe I should press her for more details. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here?
That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes.
Is that correct, Miss Starr?
Yes, that's right.
But there was a chain link fence in front of you.
I went over it, of course.
Amazing! The cough-up queen, lunch lady athlete, indeed.
It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence, so she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast.
Yeah, that fence was about 9 feet high, too. So how did Miss Sky not get away? She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say?
If I remembered exactly, I would have told you in my testimony.
Cheeky.
Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler.
Just that one word.
So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else?
Yes, the chief prosecutor was on her phone.
We know who she was calling. Her phone? She can't mean. By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene?
Yes, ultimately.
Ultimately?
My memory. It's like a salmon, heading upstream, you see.
No, the court doesn't see Miss Starr.
The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall.
On the wall. That's right. Near the car, there was an emergency phone on the wall.
Apparently, it was out of order.
So she used her cell phone. Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness.
Good witnessing? Whatever happened to good testifying?
You should, of course, add this to your testimony.
The things I do to please the rookie defense attorney.
Oh, there we go. Phone call has been updated.
Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court?
Aha! I was going to ask the same thing.
I'll only say this one time, so listen close, rookies. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. She then picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled her own cell phone out of her pocket.
You couldn't see her behind the partition.
And during that time,
you climbed over the chain link fence.
And when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone.
And you saw her doing this?
What is it, Mr. Wright?
She made to escape? Can you be more specific?
She brushed aside my hand and ran. It was a terrible sight to see, like a dollop of lard on a pâté of foie gras.
Huh?
She even kicked over an oil drum at me.
An oil drum?
There was an oil drum lying on its side at the scene of the crime.
But it's strange.
What's that?
If she wanted to escape, why didn't she run the other way?
The parking lot entrance.
That's right! It doesn't make any sense that she would run from behind the partition to the oil drums.
You got anything to say, Miss Starr?
Excellent! More mysteries!
I wish we could solve a few before finding more, though. So Miss Sky tried to run.
I'm sorry my sister is so suspicious, Mr. Wright.
Not as sorry as I am.
She didn't do it! You have to believe me!
Look at me getting things right. Look at that. I did that one pretty quick, too. Miss Starr, I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Sky. The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias.
Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor, prosecutor? You who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago.
Uh-oh. Edgeworth's in trouble. Edgeworth, looks like you got some splaining to do. Well, Miss Starr, This is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this?
I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up.
Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't possibly have seen Miss Sky making that phone call. Big brain. I believe you see what I'm getting at. The emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If, indeed, you were in Block B, you couldn't have seen it.
What?
Order! Order! What is the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch. She's coughing up lies. Come at me, Edgeworth. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question. Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. Can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about... Gotta make sure we save. Miss Sky tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. Therefore, it would be pointless for Miss Starr to lie about it. Well, shit. Oh, never mind, it was right. It would mean Miss Starr witnessed the crime from a different location. A different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it.
Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime?
All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place from where Miss Starr witnessed this crime was here. This is the only place where she could have been.
The security guard room.
Indeed, the security guard room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second floor so you can see the entire lot.
She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are so many other places where she could have seen the phone.
Judge. Are we forgetting? This woman has many a boy toy. Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony, you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend, I use that term loosely, in the security guard room. Yes. Well, Miss Starr? I think someone's getting a little nervous. How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today, a man has got the better of Angel Starr. Gotcha, bitch.
Order! Order in my court. Witness! What have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished. And I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails.
The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky?
Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense.
Huh.
She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. Wouldn't change anything.
Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. The truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright.
Huh? Me?
Who else?
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know.
Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. It must make a vital difference. But what? What would change? She sees it from a different angle. So she sees it as if she's obviously stabbing him, when she might not have been the one to obviously stab him. Why, the angle at which she saw the crime occur would change.
The angle? What do you mean?
Well, the security guard station is on the second floor. And, she would have sort of a more 3D view of the crime.
And this is important. Why?
Shit. I felt like that was the right answer. Because she's seeing it from an entirely different angle than where we initially thought she was. Okay. I thought I was good on that.
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know.
Okay, then it's got to be the distance, because I don't think the lighting's going to have that much difference to it. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. That one right. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Edgeworth didn't think about that. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky?
Well, witness.
Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend. Good choice. PB&J, the ultimate sandwich. Good choice, Miss Starr. You might have just won me over to join the Starr Order right there. Good on ya.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running towards the scene. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. That's why I had to go through the visitors' parking in B Block.
That's quite a detour.
It probably took at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime.
5 minutes? This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
It's hard there. She's going hard in. You have a point. And the spork is a wonderful invention. Very true.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something.
Do I have any evidence to stop this? See, 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You can make pasta in that amount of time, that's true. If you like it al dente.
I've got lunch boxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie.
A 5-minute blank? Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?
Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey! Don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone.
But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run, but this time was different. Miss Sky dwaddled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's, in the words of the Princess Bride, inconceivable! She yigged.
Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. The witness has a grudge against the defendant and a blank in her testimony. Miss Edgeworth is the next witness ready to go.
Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history.
We did it! We screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright.
I didn't know where that was going. I saw we screwed that, and I was like, what? That was too close.
I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, court is adjourned.
Hey! Shit.
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right?
That's the one she tried to foist? Yeah. Tried to foist off on me. I prefer to not take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? Where'd she get these bentos? I mean, she is straight pulling them out of her ass at this point.
I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that?
Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes?
My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask you, Miss Starr.
Ah. Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple-decker! Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchline motto says, you won't be disappointed.
What's she going to pull out of her lunchbox this time?
I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now, to the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other blood type matched that of the defendant, Miss Lana Skye. The shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
Fuck. What? There was blood found on that shoe.
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs.
Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence?
Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had a blood test performed?
Didn't I mention I have 3 boyfriends in forensics?
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
This is it, man. The tag team's back together again. You must know the 2 rules of evidence law. Rule number 1, no evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
Seems so. Edgeworth sure is celebrating.
Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth.
This battle between her and Edgeworth is insane.
Don't forget, I used to be a detective. As I mentioned previously, this shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth.
No.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
Seems so. Edgeworth is looking pretty sullen.
You can at least study some evidence law? Really?
The prosecution's complaints notwithstanding, it appears that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. However, seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Oh, phew. Okay. Why did you lie about those 5 minutes?
I guess you could say I just wanted people to look at the results.
The results?
How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my very own eyes.
Excuse me.
Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing.
Then why didn't you just tell the truth?
Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arranged testimonies, erasing and manipulating evidence. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book.
This one, the suspect is admitting she did it?
But false testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr.
He makes a great point. He makes a great point.
Let's just get this over with.
Yep.
And now to the matter of the victim's shoe.
Sir again. And you found this shoe at the scene of the crime?
I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department.
Okay. Whatever floats your boat, Angel.
I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive.
So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe.
I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen.
I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag. Really.
In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of the crime. Now, tell us what you did next.
So you brought it to the forensics department.
If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert.
She got away with her little coup. She got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective.
The shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it.
Well, the man was stabbed after all.
That blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman?
As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe.
You can't say for sure the blood belonged to the defendant with a blood test.
You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie? Huh? Well, speak up.
Well, blood comes in 4 types. A, B, O, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was committed, or whether a murder was committed in cold blood. See what Phoenix did there. Good man.
That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright.
Actually, we can differentiate.
I read that entirely wrong.
We can differentiate between millions of types with all the blood tests out there. Which means that we can, more or less, narrow down any sample of blood down to just one person. Or so I hear.
That's pretty specific.
If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they said there's just little doubt it could be anyone's but Miss Lana Sky's.
So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe.
That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. just quickly save, just in case. I can't let this evidence go without a fight.
You ordered the peppered fish guts, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some, like your client, she's in enough hot water to make a whole vat of soup. Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe?
Problem? This is critical. Is there a problem with the victim's shoe? She wasn't wearing those shoes! Those are higher heels. She was not wearing those shoes. Those are not her shoes. If I'm not imagining things, I'd say there is one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction.
That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. I'd give you a peppered fish gut now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence.
I don't think these are her shoes. I'm still saying I don't think. The problem with this evidence is here.
Where?
Oh, shit. Where was I? I was here. Oh, yeah. We just gotta skip through this again. There's a problem. So let me take one more look at that picture. Oh! I forgot I can just do this.
This blood, it's my sister's, right?
Appears so. Lana's right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime.
Poor sis. Ah, there's blood here too.
On the sole of the shoe? It's gotta be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood.
All this blood, it's horrible.
This blood might be an important clue. Okay, so it's the blood I have to show. Hey, that's everything apparently. Is there anything inside the shoe? Nope. Okay, cool. At least now I know. At least now I know. Bada bing, bada boom. I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of this shoe.
Don't mess with me, rookie. Or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe.
Oh, goddamn. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe.
It makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? I'm guessing your shoe has blood on it too. You just shot yourself. Fuck. Forgot to save. I knew I forgot something. Hey, Retro, welcome to the stream, man. Here's the problem. It's the blood on the bottom of the shoe. We now know that. Alright, let me save. Damn it, I can't save. No. Alright. Yep, that's what I thought. The problem lies in the footprints. The footprint. Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't there any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime?
Oh, no. Oh, he's right. I'm gonna quickly save here. It's because I haven't since.
As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. We got objection after objection after objection after objection. They are throwing objections back and forth, man. Then where are they, Mr. Edgeworth? Because we checked the scene and found nothing of the sort.
Order! 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 Well, witness?
What? Huh?
Great going, Mr. Wright, but it's true that the lack of a footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint.
Oh?
That's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint.
Think, Mr. Wright. Think.
Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions.
What?
Uh-oh. I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There is one vital hint to the truth in her testimony.
What are you talking about?
Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum, and she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Roar. I thought that was a strange thing for a normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh shit, here we go. Oh, that? I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth.
Though, apparently, you're not the slowest conveyor belt. I didn't see the belt. I was reading. I had a belt. Though, apparently, you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory.
Witness. Well, was the oil drum empty?
The oil drum, kicked over by the chief prosecutor, was brimming with water.
Water?
What does that mean?
Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason.
Ah ha ha! You don't mean...
The suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. Bruh, Edgeworth is feeling it in this one. He's bringing out all the guns.
That ties things up quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs.
Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty. Erasing evidence.
That reminds me, Miss Sky's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him?
So that's when my sister's blood got on the shoe.
Well, I see no reason for prolonging this trial.
Mr. Wright, do something, please!
What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime, and she tried to conceal it.
What?
Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor.
Very well.
But Angel Starr is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water.
This court finds the defendant, Miss Lana Sky.
Right when we think it's over, the M. Night Shyamalan plot twists continue. Lord. I feel like this trial should have been over like an hour ago.
Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you say that I, Angel Starr, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Another lunchbox, a lunchbox called evidence.
That is some NATO in that box. A lot of NATO too. Ooh. Ego. I mean, that's most characters in this game.
Well, wait. Witness, don't tell me you have something else.
The time for deliberations is past. Any further comments, and you will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the cough up queen. Look at this. It's another photo!
A photograph.
I had it just in case anyone had the gall to suggest. The white shoe didn't belong to the victim.
I see no room for error in this evidence.
Mr. Wright, wait! Look at the asphalt in this photo!
Hey! It's clearly wet!
Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water.
I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all.
It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Right. Wet or not? Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. The bitter end, you say? We being Pete Dunne right now? Boom. This is the last piece of evidence.
Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
There it is. Your Honor, wait.
What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? God. Whatever it is, can it wait?
No, it can't. Then it will be too late. Look at this photograph. The last one submitted. Every time I do, it makes me laugh. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah. I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I gotta go ahead with this.
I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright.
Well, it's probably here, don't you think? Oh no, when was the last time I saved? I believe he's trying to say that no one's falling for your bluffs, Mr. Wright.
Open your eyes, Mr. Wright. Think scientifically.
Suppose since you've come there... Okay.
Alright, that's good. At least, let me just save it here just to make sure we're good. Alright. Problem in this photograph is here. What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler.
Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth.
Your Honor,
you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or scarf of any kind in this photograph.
The judge is an idiot. A muffler is also a part of a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as part of the exhaust system. A pipe.
I see, and I see. What's that suspicious looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler?
So what if there is something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony.
What?
Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to this case.
Well, Your Honor, how do you feel about that?
Actually, I don't feel well at all. I have this pounding headache.
No. I meant, what do you think about the... I've had to restart too much. Go back through this again. Oh, no, I know what I need to click on. I know what I messed up on. I forgot one thing got updated. Yep, forgot the phone got updated. There we go. Real quick since I got past that. Miss Starr, recall your testimony for the court.
Yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler.
Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence.
Oh.
Well, it seems we will have to suspend the proceedings.
Suspend?
I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed?
I suppose so.
Whew!
That was close. But we made it. At least for now.
The court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all.
He's still hungry?
Woo!
I'm going to save here. And this is actually where I think we're going to stop for today. 1, just because I feel this is a good stopping point. 2, it felt a lot longer than we went. I really felt like we went a lot longer than just 2.5 hours. So it kind of drained me a bit. So I'm just feeling like this is a good spot. We'll be back at it, of course, Wednesday to get back to it. Let me get a track ready to go. This will be a good one. Get the final track going for you guys, as well as get myself set up here with the end screen. Go. It was very loud for me. With that, though, I want to thank you guys for watching. All of you that were here the entire time, or whether you were just here for a bit. Hopefully you enjoyed yourself. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that follow button if you'd like. And, of course, if you enjoyed enough, you can always hit that subscribe button. Get you some emotes that you can play around with, as well as any kind of other things that possibly get added in with subscriptions. So, you know, you can do what you want. Of course, donation goal is still up. If you want to donate or not, all up to you. Do not care. It just gets the game here quicker than it would without it. With that, I will see you guys tomorrow when we jump back into Heavy Rain, get some more emotions, and hopefully we won't have to hear any more of Jason. Can only hope. I will see you guys tomorrow.